I hope to continue that tradition, and by showing you guys how we managed to mix the creative and the technology and actually reach significant results on Instagram. So just to tell you, for those of you who are not familiar with Bidalgo, we're basically a technology-based company. We help results-driven marketers to reach quality at scale. Usually the main two outcomes an advertiser wants is either scale or quality, and usually recommended both. So we help them doing that. To dig a bit deeper, we've been in the business for the past 6 years. We're both a Facebook and an Instagram marketing partner, and we have about 60 people. We already have an office in both Tel Aviv and San Francisco. So the one thing that really puts us in the focus here is we are really data-centric, and LTV is really important for us when we make decisions. Before I would get into Instagram, I want to thank a lot of our partners here that were willing to share some of their works they've done with us. So you're going to see a lot of those creatives of those guys. So put your phones at ready. So hope you will enjoy that. Now, when Instagram was released, it was back in Q3 2015. It showed a great opportunity, a new channel coming into the play. And with that opportunity, there was a pretty big challenge also, because, you know, advertisers will think that Instagram is really appropriate for branding campaigns, and also it comes to bring a question if direct response advertising could work in Instagram. So when we knew that when we start to tackle Instagram, we need to keep that in check. So this is the story about our journey of how we managed to bring Instagram great results. The first step we done, actually, we knew we were doing a great job at Facebook. So we kind of thought, okay, if this thing goes well on Facebook, let's try to have an Instagram version of it and be successful there. So here's an example for Zynga's Wizard of Oz. You probably know that. So one of the things that worked pretty well is the Dorothy character. So we kind of thought, okay, let's try to have Dorothy on Instagram. So we can see the shade of her and Toto on the yellow brick road. And we kind of thought, okay, this could probably work on Instagram. It's kind of similar to what we see on Instagram. Next up, Product Menace. They were here also. They have this really cool character from Heart of Vegas, more chilly. And we kind of thought, hey, what if we do a retro version of this and make it more appealing for fashion lovers? Next up, the Lucky Play Casino by AGS. Cats, they dominate the internet, so we kind of thought, okay, if a cat works on Facebook, let's take that a bit creepy version of it on Instagram, and we kind of thought, hey, maybe this will work better as well. How do you guys think those ads perform, looking at those three? Well, truth be told, not so well. Well, although you can see they're really appealing on an imagery level, but at the end of the day, we're talking direct response. And when we look down on the numbers, we saw great CTRs. People found those ads attractive. But when going down the funnel, well, every other KPI went down from there. So we kind of knew that we need to change the direction and really put our thinking caps on. So we took a big research going on, and we try to figure out the first thing is, okay, Instagram is a new platform, new users, new rules of engagement. So we need to think, okay, what is the mindset of the user? What are they looking for on Instagram? How they interact with each other? And we came up with a couple of conclusions that brought us a lot of ideas. So I'm going to show you a couple of the main things that we saw doing our research. First thing we noticed, Instagram users are looking to be either inspired by others or inspire. They're using a lot of compelling imagery, a lot of photography going on there. So that's something that Instagram users are constantly doing. Next up, interest. They have hobbies like cooking or sports or photography or any other of those significant activities they have, and they share their passions on Instagram. Obviously, celebrity stalking. They like to follow celebrities. Celebrities are using Instagram to brand themselves and even get an extra income on the side. So Instagram users are using constantly on celebrities. this is pretty important for us. This is the way users on Instagram interact with each other. They have hashtags, which are not exactly like hashtags you see on other platforms like Twitter. They have their own lines of hashtags, and they use it in a different way to communicate with each other. This was pretty key for us when we moving forward. So that's the part we realized we need to take a big leap forward. And now we have now we start doing the research, and we have all those ideas going on. But at the end of the day, you need to drive result and deliver. So we need to put them to the test. This is where our technology kicks in. So with our tools, basically, we have the ability to, first thing is really to have a mass creation of permutations. And then we have a lot of A/B testing going on, checking which creatives are resonating best with which audience, and do a lot of multiple selection there. Once we get that, we get some data aggregation. We see what kind of upper KPIs, lower KPIs, and see how it actually builds up. At the end of the day, we bring all the results to the decision-making of the machine, which is done better by the human hand. And at the end of the day, we're also implementing it, that eventually all that conclusions that we're bringing from our activity are done in our campaign strategy and media buying. Now, just to show you a couple of examples how it works on the ground, there's Marvel Puzzle Quest, really cool game. Same audience, 2 creatives. CTR is 141% on the left, and the install rate is 110% on the right. It's a daily conflict every user acquisition manager is doing. You have the KPIs conflicting with each other. So how do you make a decision? What's going on? At the end of the day, according to the business objective, our machine decides to put the more emphasis and put the budget more on the one on the right. So all the idea is to have being as much as cost effective as you can. Next example, Star Trek timelines. So in this particular example, we saw a carousel ad, which is more complex. There are much more room for error because you need to tell a story from each creative on its own. So there are a couple of things you can test here. In this particular case, okay, which creative element works better? Is it the starships? Is it the characters? Maybe it's if you go through Deep Space Nine elements or other Star Trek series, which one of them works better? So all those questions, we have the ability to answer them using our technology, and then decides which one is the winner according to the KPIs they achieve. Now, to sum up what I've talked about so far, I've showed you basically a process. The first step of the process is research. Know what you're up against. You have a new platform, you need to engage with the users in an interesting way. A lot of ideas then come up. Eventually, you need to have ideas in order to stick out. You can't have eventually just a machine do the work for you. There are a couple of things happening way before the data. You need to make ideas and make them work. Then you put them in the machine and test them and make sure which results are bringing you the most value. And at the end of the day, you learn. This cycle repeats itself all the time. It could happen either in a new channel, or in this case of Facebook and Instagram, which they constantly release new features and new ad formats. You need to keep thinking, how can I use that new ad format for my best interest? And also when the platform changes, I don't know, let's say in Instagram, they will exclude cats or something like that. So that's something that could help you guys understand which one of them works better. Now, to show you how we managed to get all the research and the learnings and all the ideas, I'm going to show you a couple of really great examples when we managed to get to the next level. So the first thing we noticed after that research, that Instagram is really artistic and users are really engaging with art. So we took Zynga, Wizard of Oz, and saw this Insta sketch. We got to have a sketch going on there. And you can see at the end of the day, we never forgot the direct response fundamentals, which is the button and clear call to action. Make it have as a game so they will know what they're getting into. Next example, photography. Users are always taking pictures of themselves, taking pictures of their friends. So in this particular case, we kind of thought take a bit of a heuristic approach. The guy on the left maybe forgot to turn off his slots game. On the right-hand side, we can pretty much see that scene happen occasionally when we go to parties. So in this case, this guy apparently knows his priorities. So in this particular case, it worked like that. Next up, superheroes. It is a byproduct of celebrities. Users are actually taking, let's say, go to events like Comic-Con and dress up as those characters. We even saw today with Polarium, all the people dressed up as Vikings. So superhero is something we did see as fit to be something to test. So in this particular case, my Marvel Puzzle Quest, we kind of saw how characters and how they react in Instagram. So which of them are working better? Either the heroes, are they the villains? Maybe a versus approach, maybe just put one character in the middle and a bunch of other characters. So those are the kind of things we tested here. Athletes, sports, that's something also that happens a lot on Instagram. In this particular case, top 11, Nordeus. Basically, in this particular case, on the left, we saw they have an IP with Jose Mourinho. So in this particular case, we saw how Jose Mourinho planning his lineup in the morning. On the right-hand side, you can see how maybe you take it more for the 25 to 30, those who are going to bars with their friends. So that's kind of the experience of the victory. So we want to check really how the users are finding the product within their daily life. I think the moment when we really nailed it is when, really at the beginning of the research, we found that there was a very particular hashtag that kept repeating itself. From where I stand, it's kind of a, for those of you who are not familiar with Instagram, it's like taking a picture of fit selfie kind of ish, that you're basically standing in certain interesting places. Let's say if it's I don't know, extreme sports and you're standing on the top of a cliff, so those are very compelling imagery. So a lot of users are actually doing that. So we kind of thought, okay, we remember Wizard of Oz, we kept talking about that. So we kind of thought, hey, what if we take Dorothy and put her in a place that she feels most comfortable with playing the game while contributing to the Where I Stand hashtag. And this is what we came up with. She's playing the game, comfortable in her living room, tapping her shoes. For those, if she taps her shoes, she moves from one place to another. And she's moving from different places of the game. So this particular ad really overperformed pretty much everything that we've done on Instagram on those parts. So that really hit the jackpot. You can see, like, if we analyze this one, yeah, if we analyze this one, we can see really the product in center. So she's playing slots. She's really feel comfortable. And slots gamers, which are mostly, you know, females, 40 plus, their tend to play is really to be casual as possible. It's not like men that are looking for competition and prove that they're superior in some ways. So at least in this particular example, you can see she's comfortable at her house and enjoying the game. So to wrap things up, the first thing, know what you're up against. Do your research. It's new platform, new activity. Do your research before you do. I think it's true for any project, major project that you do. Do your research before you start off. After that, try to think of ways, be creative, how you manage to stick out. Also, combine that with technology to help you scale it up. And at the end of the day, don't give up. Those new activities, takes time. There are learning curves. And you need to do some trials and errors. And once you hit the jackpot, especially in this time and this kind of industry that everything shifts so quickly, I think that it's worth the try. And before we wrap things up again, let's see which one of the creators you think are better performing, left or right? Who thinks on the left? Raise hands. Which one thinks on the right? You are awesome students. Yeah, so it's cool. Next up. Which one is better performing? On the right? All right, the majority is correct. Thank you, guys. By the way, I did mention that new platforms, it's really important to adopt. So I hope next time we'll see you when we just released a notification in our Mixer that we are integrated with Pinterest. So I hope next time we'll show you the Pinter Play or something like that and show you how we managed to crack it up. Thank you, guys.
Now we have time for questions. I have one question about the Snapchat and the story feature. How does it affect your strategy?
Snapchat is a channel that in most of our gaming companies not yet fully adopted. It's really interesting to see how it rolls out. any new feature coming from a new platform can be utilized. We are in a thinking caps mode at the moment, so I hope in the future we'll give you a more effective answer. Yeah.
Any other questions?
You take any brand and go to the Instagram and Facebook? I mean, not every brand can go both.
Some actually were surprising. You would think Instagram is more for, you know, female, younger audience. Actually, one of the other presentations we give in other industries is that actually an industry like fintech, which you don't think that will work, will actually work. So that's kind of what, that's part of the no give up thing. Even if it's a different industry, it doesn't seem to be the best fit, you should give it a go. Sometimes results will surprise you.
Thank you.
Overall, would you say that Instagram campaigns perform in a similar way to Facebook campaigns?
Yeah, definitely. There's places you can get, you know, some KPIs better. It really depends on the game and the market you're after. Obviously, Facebook released, they keep updating things. Right now, they are using placement optimization, so you can actually open the targeting towards Facebook, Instagram, and the audience network, so you can actually see exactly which one of them better performs. And then, you know, it's optimization. You decide, hey, maybe audience network brings the best results, so maybe I'll go there. So it really depends.
Okay. Thank you, Shay.
Thank you.
Thank you.